Hi everyone and welcome to episode 16 of my kind of a podcast. As you probably know, I have a full-time job, so YouTube is only just a hobby for me. And for this reason, I am not able to jump in on every topic that comes up and make a video straight away. And also because sometimes I do record my videos in advance and plan them ahead. So when something happens, by the time I get around to talking about it, everyone else has already done a good job of it, and I am always a little late. And I am also a little late for this particular topic, but I am very happy that I do have this little bit of a delay, because originally I only wanted to talk about Daniel Bregoli, but something else happened, and I am very grateful for that, because now I can also talk about Lilly Singh and the concept of cultural appropriation. So, as you probably all know already, Lilly Singh came up with the remake of Badman Forward Badman Pull for the ladies.
No long the real bad girl them want dance and can't dance. How comes? Watch this as I do the bad girl pull up. Small skinny thing, show the man them what up. Make it top bounce if your belly full up. No matter your size, let me see you turn up.
Because of this particular video, a lot of people are crying cultural appropriation, and I agree to some extent, but I also disagree somewhat with that concept. So I will go into why that is a bit later. First, we will need to define what we are talking about, and so look for a definition of cultural appropriation. I will go to Wikipedia because it's the easiest way. Cultural appropriation, at times also phrased cultural misappropriation, is an adoption of elements of one culture by members of another culture. This can be controversial when members of a dominant culture appropriate from disadvantaged minority cultures, or especially when one culture adopts elements from another culture and tries to make it their own or use it in a bad or harmful way. According to critics, the practice cultural appropriation differs from acculturation, assimilation, or equal cultural exchange in that this appropriation is a form of colonialism. When cultural elements are copied from a minority culture by members of a dominant culture, these elements are used outside of their original cultural context, sometimes even against the expressly stated wishes of the members of the originated culture. So this definition is really going deep on the differences between cultural appropriation and assimilation or acculturation, which is a thing that I had to discuss with people quite a bit in the topic of cultural appropriation. For example, I cannot be a white woman and wear a sari, but why does an Indian man wear jeans? Isn't that cultural appropriation? No, it is not cultural appropriation, because in the cultural context of the conversation, the white woman in a sari is from a dominant culture and wearing an outfit from somebody of a minority culture. So it is not the same. And wearing jeans nowadays is not something that is considered to be culturally white. Maybe if the Indian man was wearing cowboy boots and a cowboy hat or whatever, it could be kind of sort of similar. But once again, we are talking about a dominant culture and a minority culture, so it is not really cultural appropriation, because the cultural context of who is the dominant matters in this conversation. Now, going back to Lilly Singh's attempt at a remake of this dancehall classic, the song is bad. The song is bad. I don't even like the original song, and I don't like her version either. I can tell that she had good intentions. She was going for something positive. And I can also tell, because I used to be a fan of hers like 10, 20 years ago, I don't even remember. I can also tell that she is not new to dancehall music. She's been listening to dancehall music for a very long time. So it's not like she heard about this song and decided to remake it. Actually, the mere fact that she chose that particular song, and because of the importance, let's say, that this song has in the dancehall culture, means that she knew about the culture that she was taking from in that instance. So I don't really that is one of the reasons why I don't think that it is cultural appropriation so much, that it is she is doing something that she enjoys and that she would enjoy whether or not she was remaking the song anyway. The problem here is that at the moment it's not really a good time for Lilly Singh. A lot of people don't really like what she's doing, so a lot of the things that she's doing are going to be shut down because she's kind of the villain of the story at the moment on YouTube. So it's kind of expected in a way that it will get a negative response, especially when the effort itself wasn't a very good one, in my opinion. And I could sit here and dissect the song and go on about how the lyrics are bad and how this doesn't really make sense.
If you want have a wedding, see the bad girl pull up. That's not where your head is, see the bad girl pull up. If you give birth to kids, see the bad girl pull up. If you don't want to give them, the bad girl pull up.
If you give birth to kids, pull up. If you don't want to give them, pull up. To give them what? To give them birth. This would probably make sense if it was kind of a comment on the slew of anti-abortion songs that have been put out in the dancehall movement over the years, but I don't think that's what she was trying to do. So it kind of falls flat, in my opinion. This sentence doesn't make any sense. Also, the fact that she is singing in patois, like, she's not doing a good job of it. She's, you know, she doesn't sing it well. Like, the words that she's using are not the correct ones, and the phrases and the sentences that she created for this song are not actually patois. It's like, it's bad. Like, you know, somebody like Rihanna, for example, does sing in Jamaican patois, even though she's not a Jamaican, but she does it well, and so that's not really an issue. I think, really, the moment that Lilly thought she had to do this in patois should have been a clue not to do it, because there was no way that she was going to do a good job of mimicking the accent, building correct sentences, and having a good delivery of the actual thing.
If you a stay-at-home mom, the bad girl pull up. If the boss at the job, the bad girl pull up. If a husband your intention, the bad girl pull up. If you like girls in your mention, the bad girl pull up. If you have a natural bone.
But discussing all of this is kind of pointless, even though it might be good content for a commentary video. That is not really what I want to talk about here. I would like to discuss the cultural appropriation part of all of this. So let's just go outside and catch Daniel in the act. How about that? So she's said to have appropriated black looks recently, and if you ask me, it does smell fishy, like really, really black fishy. But the worst part of this is really how she went on to defend herself.
On a foundation that makes me look tan. That makes me look tan. Who wants to be black? I don't understand that. I really just can't comprehend it.
Okay, all right. I think we are going to leave it here because I don't think I have it in me to continue talking about this girl. I can't do it. I'm sorry. So let's go back to Lilly.
Pull up. If you like gal in your mention, bad gal pull up. If you have a natural body, bad gal pull up. Or if you had some work done, bad gal pull up. Bad gal forward, bad gal pull up. Bad gal forward, bad gal pull up.
So let's go back to the cultural appropriation part of this conversation.
Me father told me presenting in a what soon forward come. Big up, tune in.
So why is cultural appropriation even a thing? Why do people take from other cultures? Because in my opinion, it's because they probably have a positive feeling about the look of certain things or the sound of certain things, and they want to enjoy it too. They think it's cool, they think it's nice, they think it's beautiful sometimes, and they want some of it for themselves. Where it becomes a problem is when it becomes a kind of gentrification of the culture that they are taking on, or when they actually appropriate the culture in the sense that they start to feel that they are the originators, that they own this particular thing, and that they can do with it whatever they want to. And the fact that this culture sometimes has a lot of meaning and a lot of importance to the people that it actually belongs to, that's what the problem is. It's that these people are feeling disrespected by your misuse, your misappropriation of their cultural heritage. And when we talk about this, very often we talk about race. And as we have already discussed on this channel, every conversation about race and race relations are going to be very heated because everyone is all up in their feelings. Everyone wants to be right. Everyone wants to be heard. Everyone wants to have the upper hand. And we all know this is not possible. We don't live in a world of absolutes. It's more everything is gray rather than everything is black and white around here. So that is why it is difficult to have these kinds of conversations. Somebody might be doing cultural appropriation unwittingly, and they might have good intentions, and they might be good in their heart and wanting to do something good for the rest of the population, and still hurt someone else in the process. For example, if you see a spider on the wall and you want to swat at it with your shoe, and that you just throw the shoe at the spider across the room and hit your brother in the face, whether or not you meant to hit your brother in the face, your brother still got hit in the face and it still hurts. So the fact that actually I wanted to kill the spider that's on the wall, I didn't want to hit you in the face, actually doesn't matter to your brother. He got a shoe to the face. And that's a problem to him. And you not hearing that you hurt him, even though you didn't mean to and you actually had good intentions, it's gonna bother him that he doesn't get his feelings heard in this conversation. When we talk about cultural appropriation, it's kind of the same as when we talk about free speech or cancel culture. You know that paradox that free speech cannot be fully free because otherwise we need to also include extremist speech. Like if we are proponents of free speech, then we have to defend Nazi propaganda, for example. It's very hard to draw a line of where is acceptable and where is not when we're talking about cultural appropriation. And in this case, I tend to think that the same way as I mentioned in my video about the use of the N-word, that it's probably best to side with whoever is the more wronged in the situation and go by their definition and their feelings about it. Because if you are the person doing something that is hurting someone else, maybe your feelings and your intentions shouldn't really matter that much ultimately. It's not hard not to wear certain clothes. It's not hard not to say certain words. It's not the end of the world if you cannot wear an Indian headdress to that festival that year. So probably a better idea to be the better human being, let's say, and to just not go into it. Or if you do, then accept that some people are not going to like it and some people are going to kick off about it. The one thing I do need to mention here is that I am not talking about the people who are angry on behalf of other people, like I've seen happen all the time when I see those white, girls upset on my behalf because of something racist somebody said about black people, and it doesn't really bother me, but somehow they think that they have to jump in and be the white knight and defend me. I absolutely hate that. So I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about if you are doing something that bothers a person because you are appropriating something that originally belonged to them, listen to them more than to yourself, to your own feelings, and to your own desire to wear this outfit that day, Maybe find something else to do. All right, so this is what I wanted to talk about today. I hope you enjoyed spending some time with me and that you will be back next time when we will talk about something completely different. I wish you a very good day. Bye.